that started out actually pretty bad for them.
Yeah.
I really don't know what else to say. You have Ornn into Renekton. Yes, Azir versus Ekko. Azir has control early, and then Ekko eventually outscales him, but the problem is that ornaments are going to come online, and the enemy team is extremely vulnerable to mid to late game Aphelios and then hyper late game Aphelios. And Gen.G does not really have a very good leg to stand on. There's realistically only one kick target, and it's a champion that he can't even get onto.
Yeah, this is really, really tough. Unless you're going to kick an Azir while he's sliding towards you or something like that to deny a Shurima shuffle, this is 100% Gen.G deciding that they want to win this game by 22 minutes, and if they don't, they're just going to lose. And on the other side, SANDBOX have the most quintessential LCK team composition you can possibly see. There is nothing more we're going to scale to the late game than exactly what SANDBOX have.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I still think that given the champions, Gen.G should be able to win, even though what I mean by that is there's enough control that's granted to their key players.
Yeah.
That they should be able to still win out if you're a Gen.G fan and you're worried, but that's because of the team discrepancy that's present. This is one of the top teams versus one of the lower ends, but this is a really, really good draft. Edge for SANDBOX here.
Well, it might be that Yamato Cannon has already inspired Joker there, who was the stage coach for the final time before Yamato is going to make his way in. But I don't know whether it's going to be enough to save SANDBOX. Let's see whether Gen.G can get those early leads that they've been looking for, or whether SANDBOX are just going to be able to scale their way to a victory. Ooh, Kabbie's taking the unsealed spellbook Thresh. I like it.
Well, looks like there's just going to be a very safe spread here by SANDBOX. Kellin going to move in here, and honestly, I mean, whoever does Karma's outfits, exquisite on this skin. I honestly, I gotta tell you.
You're a big fan?
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks
very pretty.
Nice.
Very pretty.
Very elegant.
I'm normally a sun goddess. Karma fan. I think that was her first skin that she was given outside of her default one.
Ashe's skin reminds me of like strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know. It's making me, honestly, it's making me want ice cream.
Also reminds me of like the Archer class, all of the clothing for Archer class in like a game like Aeon.
Okay.
It's like very Korean MMO style.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because we are here in Korea. If you guys haven't played a Korean MMO before, they are legit. Often requiring way more of your time than they necessarily should. As Ruler is going to pull the wave, but not going to be able to break the aggro. As you can see, there was a cute little ward put in the brush.
Now, interestingly enough, what this ends up doing is it causes the wave to move into Kellin and Ruler, and then they're able to just constantly try to harass Aphelios and Thresh.
Yeah, this is how we expect this lane to go. It's not great. I don't know why I don't want to watch this because it's really, really hard for Aphelios and Thresh, especially in the early levels. Karma comes with an extra button, for goodness sake. Very unfair.
Even Scorch taking on Karma. Definitely just looking for pure lane kingdom right now.
Speaking of which, bit of a scuffle in the mid lane. B2D winning out on the trade for that moment, but not entirely sure whether that's entirely going to continue happening. 11-4 is the CS margin here as Hawkshot flies out. And Ruler, what?
Oh, did they notice?
I don't think they actually saw the wolf camp.
Yeah, I mean, they could have definitely seen the animation, or that the wolves were not in the, is it burrow?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
The Mirkwood den?
Yeah.
It's the den, Mirkwolf den.
Totally fine.
Because wolves, they live in a den, so that would make sense. Summit's going to build some stuff. Time Winder here in the mid lane. B2D will have shove advantage by the time he gets a few points in that queue. Even though, you know, Azir does have fantastic wave clear. Ekko pretty good at just throwing a Q in and then leaving.
Well, 1.5 minutes until the Infernal will end up coming up. There's not a whole lot of action that can really happen in any of these lanes except for bottom. And you can see Ruler and Kellin They're just going to come down here, shove in the wave. They have Lee Sin in close proximity, but they're not really getting any meaningful poke. And
this might be meaningful, as we're going to need to fat flash through the wall. Rascal's going to nail it. That was the big bit of the wall too, so congrats to Rascal. Keeps himself alive, but a successful gank top side of the map for SANDBOX. Things starting well so far.
Yeah.
I mean, not here. This is not good, but it's better than it could be.
Yeah, I mean, the bot side is really not achieving what you would hope. They have a 7 CS advantage right now, but honestly, if you're Root and Kabbie in this lane, you're feeling pretty fine.
Yeah.
Still haven't even lost a turret plate. And Ruler and Kellin just not ever really
okay. Hook comes in. That's the Inspire that comes out. That keeps a lot of the damage off Kellin. Still, it's a good call. Heal used by Kabbie.
Yeah, spellbook available in a minute and a half.
Yep, may as well throw around some summoner spells.
There's a lot of ping pong happening here in mid lane. BDD has already used his teleport, as has Fate.
This cannon creep probably going to get denied.
Nope.
Very close. No, all right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic news for Root.
Very big victory there.
Kabbie even able to give that one over. Root does have his flamethrower. The Infernum. Grabbing him there as well, so he can just be Ashe himself, if he would like to be. But Kabbie's going down real low. He's just soaking poke. And not a lot of sustain in this lane for this duo. So I think Gen.G are going to continue to pull ahead. But Summon on the top side, I mean, he's benefiting so much from this.
Yeah.
The Ornn has a decent matchup into the Renekton regardless. And the better he's doing, the better his whole team will be doing. As if he can get accelerated ornaments, it's just closer and closer to Doomsday for Gen.G. Okay, Root getting taken down real low as the hook barely misses.
Yeah.
Looking for another Q from Kellin, but we don't get it. We're just going to skip around to a whole bunch of different champions.
Oh, man.
As BDD is going to walk over a control ward, but I honestly just don't think it matters. There's the parallel convergence. Not quite enough there as he flashes on forward. First blood going over to BDD. He has his ultimate and was wanting his clone to catch up so that he could get a little bit more damage. And in the meantime, Clid is going to take down the Infernal Drake. So as we were talking about SANDBOX having this game in a decent position, it flies away from them very, very quickly.
Well, very, very unfortunate. They were not able to get any pressure relief bottom. Currently, OnFleek is on farm right now so far in this game. A little bit of World of Warcraft, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Meanwhile, up here in top lane, Bommy is immediately rushed for Ornn, which is really bad for his lane, because now he forcefully pushes, which isn't as ideal as just perma-freezing. Really good roam by BDD down into bottom. Aphelios doesn't have TP, he's not able to get anything, says I'm going. Ends up R'ing in response to the hook, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty clean. So this is what this comp has to do from Gen.G. They need to start things early. They've now got themselves an Infernal Drake, Ocean Drake going to be coming up, and then it could go for a Cloud Stall pretty easily after that. I don't think Mountain Drake exists today. It's just not one of those things. BDD trying to get that time wind to come back through the minion. Unable to do so. And Summit and Rascal having a pretty slow day up here. Starting off pretty casually, as you can see. Pretty cool crocodile skin. But otherwise, nothing doing. We're looking for our Sunfire Cape as soon as possible. Is Kabbie going to take a lot of damage here? Gives himself a bit of a shield as the exhaust comes through. And yeah, Rule is just going to auto-attack. Root trying to trade one back here, but Kellin, he will have his shield up once again. These are pretty good weapons for Root, but at this stage, not going to be able to win that fight. We're moving towards a 20 CS lead for Ruler on the bottom side.
Yeah. And Clid's just going to pick up a Shuttle Crab. Meanwhile, in mid lane, I mean, Azir is up on CS, but that's not really going to equate to a whole lot. Summit without option to really freeze or do anything. Rascal just going to take a quick trade, pop the bone plating.
Yep, but clears out all the minions as well, so doesn't need to worry about what Summit's doing from now on. As we have a look at this towards the bottom side again, Kellin walks up, gets one slow, by the way, guys. He's getting one slow. And then Kabbie's just dead with basically nothing he can do.
100 to 0'd. And it's one of those kills that leaves you sort of just scratching your head. Because it's very obvious that they're unlethal, but also their lane state is in such an insufferable spot. And if you go into this game and you re-watch it, and you just pay attention to the trade patterns as well as the jungle pathing, there's very clear times where Aphelios and Thresh wants aid or resets at the cost of foregoing a jungle camp or something. But if you just play ping pong endlessly, then yes, mid is going to be fine, Ekko versus Azir. Your Azir is going to be okay, Ornn's going to be fine against Renekton. But bot lane will bleed out if you don't help it. It can't win on its own accord unless Aphelios and Thresh just dramatically outplay Ashe Karma.
Yeah, and this is assuming that, okay, Rule's just going 1v2, as you can see. And Root just going to take it. Not able to get a hook through the minions there on Kabbie's side. This is dominance for the bottom lane of Gen.G. We expected this to happen. This is what this lane does. But I was also expecting a little bit more. Like, this was completely face up. First and second pick from Gen.G. And so you'd expect that SANDBOX would have some sort of response. But as of right now, 25 CS in the lead. Not too many responses available for the SANDBOX bottom lane. W3D goes back, collects himself some sorcerer shoes and a gun.
Oh. Rascal at this point. Just still going blow for blow. He is actually down on EXP. Summit's already 9 and has a cannon right in front of him, so that's a little bit surprising.
Yep, there's the Ornn. Okay. Slice, dice not available. As, sometimes you just want to throw a ram at things, you know?
Yeah, the really weird thing is that Rascal has Dominus available, and even the full Ornn combo at that point wouldn't execute. So a very peculiar attempt. Now maybe it could just be to get Renekton low enough so that Ornn's Joust would win.
Oh, that's a great pillar from OnFleek as the hook is going to be flashed from Kellin. Kabbie had his eye in there though. That's a free summoner spell. Rule is still trashing this lane in the meantime, but definitely a good news story. But Clid, who had picked up Shelly earlier, is going to park her on the bottom side, and it's only going to make things worse for SANDBOX. Is that value volley? That was very, very good start. It felt really good. As, yep, Shelly's going to pile all of that gold onto the Gen.G members. Not going to get that first turret just yet, but it's 11.5 minutes into the game. So there's still plenty of time to lock down that last plate. Yep. Speaking of plates, none taken in any of the other lanes. Only 4 in favor of Gen.G to the 0 of SANDBOX thus far.
And it looks like Gen.G is going to get an Ocean Drake, and then after this they're going to roll Mountain. Which, for SANDBOX, would actually be pretty good.
Hey, nice. Look at you go.
You know,
I mean, I cursed it before, but that was much better.
Honestly, it's totally fine.
Yeah, nailing it.
You curse it, but I leak it.
Yep. As, okay, going to take a Lantern and then not be able to do anything because there are a billion slows, and there's the arrow, Clid, biding his time, wanting to get behind the members of SANDBOX. Q's are going to land. Teleport's coming through from almost everyone as Rascal gets in there very close, and that's going to guarantee this last remaining plate and the first turret. Now teleports come through from W3D just to save that top lane outer, as Summit had taken a plate from that one.
Oh, a 3,000 gold lead now, but remember that Infernal Dragon is adding a little bit more. Summit up here. I really hope that Sapphire is not for a Glacial Shroud.
No, it'll be for Catalyst.
All right, I hope so.
No, you're fine.
All right.
Summit's not going to let us down like that.
Oh.
No.
Right.
You never would.
Never. He does. I mean, how quick can Balda, you know? I mean, well, Mountain Drake, 4 minutes until that happens. Black Cleaver almost completed.
Cull almost completed
Renekton.
too.
Yeah, Cull picked up by Renekton is a very nice addition.
And actually, yeah, with the Blade of the Ruin King done, Gen.G are moving towards a pretty good power spike to try and gather themselves a soul point, which they should easily be able to do. It's looking like the snowball's working out here, LS. How are we feeling? As far as like the amount of snowball that they need for this comp, are they at a good clip?
Ruler and Kellin could have just frozen top, and Summit would have to drag over Trundle to unlock it, otherwise he would just hemorrhage hundreds and hundreds of gold each minute, because there's no objectives up on the map. So that was actually a perfect free spot by Ashe. Complete lost opportunity. Root and Kabbie would have made their way up to top lane. They would have missed all these minions, and they would probably end up actually missing this next wave as well, which is something that's lost out on. And during lull states like this, I mean, this should be the next leveled play that should end up happening, but instead, we're going to play ping pong, and then things get a little bit weird, because realistically, there should be no kills that can occur, because both parties are completely aware
of what to fight over.
Of what to fight over, where everyone is on the map. And it's very easy to use deductive reasoning to conclude maybe what could be waiting for you in the fog of war at any given point.
Well, as we can see, Catalyst was completed, so, you know, it's not all bad. Summit is at least not going towards an Iceborne Gauntlet for his second ornament. It will be the Abyssal Mask, and he's still ahead in farm, up by about 15. Not going to talk about the freezing, which could have potentially given Rascal a bit more of an advantage. That's absolutely okay. And that was a very, very satisfying Cull to make.
Everything else is just going pretty standard. I mean, this has been a very slow early and mid-game day. Summit.
Ooh, Searing Charge was good. Buffered that one, as now he's just going to get smoked. And I don't know whether he's going to win this 1v2. He's doing a fair bit of damage here, but the kickback is going to deny the ram. Great timing there from Clid. Really well played. Bellows Breath not available to avoid the Dragon Rage. And now SANDBOX thinking about taking Shell.
The funny thing is this is like an unintentional byproduct of what could happen if you were freezing. Even though Renekton didn't, the same effect is achieved where Ornn's super overextended.
Yeah.
And very prone to a gank. And at this point, I mean, SANDBOX are just slowly bleeding out more and more. They're down 4,000 gold. Now, as soon as Ornn completes both his items, that actually, I mean, it's really big. It helps remove the gold deficit to an extent. But the problem is that Gen.G are going to be threatening Soul Point super early, 22 minutes or so.
Well, there's the ulti to come out from Fate. Oh, the damage from BDD!
Man.
The sickest of outplays as BDD's going to just get rid of that turret aggro, and Clid's going to go into counter jungling immediately after that really beautiful play. This Shirley not going to be able to take down the outer turret top lane. And, oh man, Gen.G looking in flying form right now.
Well, at this point, things are definitely getting very rough. This is going to be Mountain Drake going over as soon as it ends up coming up. And SANDBOX, they're never really going to be in a position to fight over any of these Drakes because of the way the gold deficit is, but their hand's going to be forced on Soul.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be one of the easiest Soul points to ever be achieved by Gen.G if they actually get over to the Dragon Pit, which it looks like they will be able to. But let's have a look at this fight once again.
Yeah.
I love Echoes that use their ulti for damage, by the way. BDD could have used it right here.
Yeah.
But instead,
he ends up waiting for the clone, and then Fate is... he honestly, he's feeling very, very bad about that.
Yeah. The flash was also unfortunate as he died basically as that was happening.
This might be a oh no, it's not a perfect game. They have a turret.
They do have a turret.
Unfortunate.
They are one turret away from the perfect game though.
Yeah.
So there's that. Something that good old Quickshot has always been telling me about. Max, stop talking about perfect games when there's no perfect game. It's like, yeah, but it's almost a perfect game.
All right.
As looking for Summit again. There's the kickback. Not going to be searingly charging that one, and Summit's also going to fail the flash over the wall. Soul Point, 5-0 in kills, up 6,000 gold. I think a lot of us knew that this was going to be pretty one-sided, but when it happens, it still does hurt a little bit. SANDBOX just relegated to being almost in their base, even at the 18-minute mark.
And at this point, I mean, it's 4 minutes until Mountain Soul comes up. Over 6,000 gold deficit, but you factor in what Mountain is doing. as well as Infernal, and it's bigger than that, and we're 18 minutes in, so things are very, very, very hard. And if you're SANDBOX and you have on rose-tinted, or if you're a SANDBOX fan, you have on rose-tinted glasses, and you're also under the influence, you might think, well, Aphelios can still 200 years, right? And you know what, Atlas?
Yeah?
You're right.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
yeah.
there is a chance.
We have to remember that SANDBOX's comp just does scale extremely well. So that whole story needs to be stated, but with how things are going right now, it's certainly not looking good. As though that flash was unfortunate, to say the least.
It's just looking so impossible, because as soon as the team fight breaks out, Ashe and Ekko are just going to have a field day.
And the amount of CC that they have available to them, man, is just crazy.
Right, and the other thing is the base levels. You have 1 in top lane, you have 2 in jungle, 1 in mid lane, 1 in AD carry, and it seems like the supports are even. But those base levels equate to entire absorbed skills or ability spellcasts from the opponent because of all the excess HP. So it's not just you get extra points in the abilities that you're leveling up. No, it's the resistances that go up each level, the HP that you get, etc. And this allows you to either sometimes ignore turrets because you get to just absorb damage and then still take a fight on even footing. But it's a very underappreciated edge that people can have over their opponents. And once they have Mountain Soul under their belt, 12% amp, everyone's getting cloth armors for free, and then the shield is just going to be too much to chew through for SANDBOX who have sustained damage. So I don't know if Aphelios can bail them out.
Yeah, might need a few extra years maybe in order to make that one work. BDD, just in time, 2 minutes until that Mountain Soul is available. It completes his Lich Bane. We've got double Black Cleavers, only further augmenting Ruler's damage and the safety that he's going to be able to have as well. It's not a lot of diving that he's going to have to deal with, and Ashe into Trundle works very, very well because you get to kite him out pretty effectively, especially with Inspire Shield on top of it. I mean, you're going to need about 15 pillars in order to cause a nuisance. As we do have level 13 for Summit, so he does have a couple of ornaments completed for himself.
Yeah.
He's at least secured that, so that's a bit of extra money in their belt, theoretically, back to about a 5,000 gold lead if you're talking about raw stats. But then you're talking about levels and things like that that need to be factored in, so all of that money sort of goes back again. And you're still looking at being approximately 7,000 gold behind.
Yeah, when you factor in the dragons as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Things are very rough. 1 minute until that mountain, and if you're Gen.G, you just want to play it as cool and calm and collected as you possibly can.
Yep, don't want to let anything slip in these next 55 seconds or so.
Everything is just going to come down to Root. He has 2 items right now on Aphelios. He needs to just make sure he has the right guns. Right now, he's Kog'Maw.
Yep.
And we'll see.
Sivir and Caitlyn, I like to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I named them all with Crown Shot. You know?
It's a pretty good sidestep there from Root, as BDD is going to dive onto him regardless. Still, that's a lot of years that we just saw as Rascal pops his dominance, flashes forward. Good cleanse, but Root's still in trouble. Can't flash enough as the bottom lane has already been taken down. Kellin is fighting Summit right here. It's going to get breathed on, but looks like the kiting is going to commence. And yeah, parallel convergence. Clid's going to get out of there, and Summit's just ran around. And now with 3 dead, 8 kills to 0, Gen.G should be able to take down the Mountain Soul and then move pretty comfortably towards the Baron or the enemy Nexus, depending on which one they want to take first.
Yeah. And, I mean, an Azir turret gets summoned here in mid lane, but this is really just looking like a very, very soon-to-be over game. Atlas says that is Mountain Soul that does get picked up. Unfortunately, Azir was highlighted. I really wish I could have seen the amp on one of the Gen.G champions. I mean, let's take a look at this one more time. Caitlyn switches back over to Kog'Maw, does a little bit of damage to Ruler, turns Kog'Maw back on for Aphelios, as we did see a lot of damage go down, but they're just way too far behind. Root not able to do anything there. Summit waiting in the back lines, but ends up being found, and then he just gets completely blown up.
He was almost in position to get off an Ornn, but just couldn't really do it. He did actually utilize it, but not to any actual effect. Almost had a great angle. Not to be the case. 8,000 gold to lead. Gen.G now with Mountain Soul will move towards a Baron. As Arrow's going to connect onto Kabbie. Yeah. He's got Smite, not anymore. Well and truly dead as B2D now looking for OnFleek. They take down the jungler. The freest Baron ever will exist. Rascal has his teleport available, but he's threatening bottom side of the map as well. And now Root has been discovered by B2D. I don't know what he's going to be able to do here. As there's the flash, there's the ulti for a lot of extra damage actually, but does have a stopwatch, but it's just going to die. Yeah. Before he can even use it. Good CC chain there from SANDBOX. Meanwhile, Rascal is just taking down an inhibitor turret. And Rule is going to be getting to work on this inner as well. Backdoor bonus comes up, so the Ashe not able to do too much more. Surprising little mechanical misplay there from B2D, not to press his stopwatch.
Well, at this point, it looks like SANDBOX, they're going to go back on wave clear duty. They want to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, there's the Ram. Ruler just Blade of the Ruined King, enough movement speed. And that's going to hit absolutely no one.
Has a career in the NFL.
Getting the goals, like it.
You know, like SANDBOX now, I mean, they're trying to really hang on. Ornn justing 14, so he's going to be able to give over Molten Edge to the Aphelios. And these Ornn items do help mitigate the gold advantage, but the Mountain Soul, it really can't be understated. B2D, he goes over the wall on Ekko, ends up flashing to kill Root.
Clid. He's going to go golden. Ruler's going to turn up, but now Root gets into the right position. Oh my god, the kiting out of Ruler's Ashe is just disgusting. OnFleek's going to go down. It's going to be Clid that grabs that kill. In fact, make it a double as Aphelios goes down. Hook to try and taxi out, but B2D says, hell no, you're not doing that. And Rascal, in the meantime, still bottom lane.
Yeah.
As the Baron should be started.
Baron is being started up right now. Rascal's going to back up, and honestly, that Ashe kiting was very, very pretty to watch. It really looked like Ashe took on the mantle of Aphelios for a second.
It was a little bit like that. I was wondering how many years went into creating Ashe. She was one of the first champions, so I don't think that they had that much experience there unless they were on the Dota mod team. As Clid going to be discovered here by OnFleek to start the game-winning fight for Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, Clid manages to get over the wall, and then take a look at Ruler's Ashe here. I mean, Aphelios tries to do something, and
oh my god,
he says 200 years, and Ruler says that, I don't know what he says, actually. Maybe Ashe is secretly Aphelios' mother. I have no idea.
I don't know.
The kiting was pretty insane. And there's really not much left for SANDBOX in this game. They're down 13,000 gold and soul. Elder's coming up in 2 minutes, if they manage to hang on that long.
There should be Gen.G just walking down some Baroned up minions in order to take down some Nexus turrets. Sorry, some inhibitor turrets, and then, of course, Nexus turrets, as the arrow is going to pierce the heavens. Please, observers, can we continue watching it circulate Runeterra indefinitely?
The minions are having a closer battle than the two teams are.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. Not when the Baron's there, though.
Well, they are trying to hang on. 12,000 gold.
Molten Edge is there.
Yeah, Molten Edge. We're not going to pay attention to Azir's book, but there's no ornament, actually, anywhere else. So I'm not really sure what the reasoning is on that.
Oh yeah, there's no possible ornaments.
There's no possible ornament.
15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really unfortunate for Ornn. Ornn is feeling very sad right now. His items are on clearance.
Yeah, this is the thing. Just can't sell anything right now, you know, as the Ornn does come down. Ruler is going to get pinned. Does still have flash available though, and he's deciding this one. He's not taking any damage at all. This is just insane. If Root can't get autos onto the Ashe, then it's a problem. Or maybe he's just going to get taken down. As Clid was trying to get in there, but he's got a GA, so it doesn't even matter. Parallel convergence is there. The hook timing's great from Kabbie. And you can imagine that Gen.G probably still happy to take a fight 4v5. Yep. They, in fact, did take a fight 4v5 as Rascal was breaking the base bottom side of the map. But still able to take down the jungler.
Yeah. Ruler gets a shield.
Oh, God.
Grabbing him, yep. does end up getting used. Ruler almost back at full HP.
Healing is just revolting. As B2D, he's looking to go back home. Gets himself a bit of a reset with the last 20 seconds off the Baron buff, improving that recall. Wonder what Ruler's going to go back and get. Probably building towards Infinity Edge, I guess, unless he wants a defensive item to make sure that he can just continue kiting forever. Wouldn't mind that. But instead, he's just going to start off this Elder Drake by himself.
Yeah. They're going to pick this up. The Baron has expired, but with that Elder Dragon, it should be a clear-cut enough way to beat the opponents. Kabbie might try to Lantern in OnFleek. Okay, they're really going to go for it.
Yep, we're going to try and fight this one out. There's a smite in the pit now as Clid is going to make his way forward. There's the parallel convergence that is going to deny any entry from SANDBOX, and they will just make their way out. You know, like, almost look like they found someone in the bathroom. They're like, oh, very, very sorry, very sorry. We'll leave. Lock the door next time.
Yep.
That was what B2D was trying to do. We're going to have a look at this once again. Clid getting caught out, and the hook was fantastically timed from Kabbie.
Yeah,
we have to give credit where credit's due.
So Karma's shield comes out, and I mean, Ornn does his full combo. They do manage to get a couple hundred damage onto Ashe, but then she heals it immediately back up. So there wasn't really that many abilities cast on her. And Azir was not able to really get in range. Clid does end up dying, and also losing his Guardian Angel passive.
Yeah, so that's good. For SANDBOX, who have now got 2 kills, we're getting further and further away from that perfect game. 2 kills and a turret.
Well, Azanya's Paradox as the ornament of choice for Azir.
Yeah, that's desperation. It's not the item that you want. That's okay. It's a bit awkward with Azir because you really want to have
Death Crown. Yeah, but it's very hard to get to.
Now, also, it's a luxury item anyway, so a lot of Azirs aren't going to be able to afford building it. As B2D going to ult himself out there, didn't want to risk it. And Ruler's just being frustrating. We'll just clear out that ward very easily. It's slowly but surely, but honestly, it just feels like there is no chance for SANDBOX and Gen.G are taking their time. 3 base levels in jungle, 1 in mid lane, 3 in AD carry, 1 in support, 2 in top lane. It's almost as if they have an extra champion when you factor in the Mountain Soul as well. So they're playing it super, super slow and safe. They're respecting 200 years. And they've got more than an extra champion's worth of excess gold as well.
Yeah.
They could fully kit out another champion. Theoretically, is that arrow also going to pierce the heavens? I just like watching them drift away. Sort of beautiful. B2D, he doesn't. He just wants to kill an Aphelios, and he does so. Blink and you might miss it, as that is, it didn't take 200 years for that one to happen, as Rascal underneath the Nexus turrets now, and this should be the last fight here for Gen.G. Parallel convergence gives a big shield over to B2D, and the Crocodile is not dying here today. Not even taking up the turret. As you can see, Ruler, he goes down relatively low, but I think the turret did most of the work.
Yeah.
Now Fate and Kabbie find themselves still alive, but not on a Summoner's Rift that they want to return to anytime soon. Nexus turrets to be dealt with, and Gen.G will secure game number 1 in 32 minutes. Maybe took a little bit longer than you'd otherwise expect, but was a very, very impressive shot.